Here, I had to get my laundry done, put stuff away, and work, and everything else today. So I figured I'd chill out with you guys for a little bit to try to get a stream, and I'm gonna get comfortable and start smoking my weed, and then move about my day. All right. Oh, God. But today wasn't a bad day for me. I mean, work wasn't terrible. Sometimes I don't like it, but it's not terrible all the same. I did post a lot. I did a bunch of posts, and I couldn't figure out why it wasn't. I wasn't loading, and I was able to post some stuff to the community. So because I thought I made some really good posts today, I got a lot of good stuff. Oh, I already got somebody. Look at that. Before I even started smoking. Well, hello, Liz. How are you? Ugh, you should come visit me sometime, Liz. I don't know. I think you got me confused. I don't have a daughter. I think I just look like your mom, but I think that's what they're. No, just boys. I never had any girls. I would have liked to have a girl, but I guess that wasn't in the cards for me. But that is what it is. But I hope you guys got the post. I shared it to the channel on the community when you view the channel, and I got some of my Instagram posts and Facebook stuff in there. And I thought it was interesting. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I have an adopted daughter now. I guess that's less labor pains for me. That's always the horrible thing about children is the birthing. But how you doing, Liz? You could come visit me in Chong sometime and have Tim bring you over sometime if you want. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he has a whole lot to do. Rob usually, the husbands usually work until like 9 o'clock these days to get extra hours. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't see why Tim couldn't drive you over here. It would give me and Sean something to do, and you could be in the live stream with me. I think that would be fun. My friend Carla was supposed to come here talk about the light language, but now she ended up losing her job because she was a temp, and a bunch of drama, and now she can't get over here. So, well, don't do that. Oh my God, crack is horrible. So I hope you don't do crack or none of that. I know it makes you look older. Oh, you're funny. I don't want to have to get one of those. What are they called? Those EpiPens or whatever the heck they are. I don't know its exact name. I don't want to have to go over there and try to get you here. You love it. I would hope not. Watch New Jack City. They're all in that courtyard, whatever the hell they're smoking, looking like crazy people in New Jack City. I just stick to weed. I don't even like. I didn't smoke weed for like 10 years on my first marriage because my ex husband sometimes he could be a dick. And the funny thing is after we divorced and all this other crap, now he smokes weed. And for 10 years I didn't smoke weed because he said it was the worst thing in the world. So I said, "Fuck it, we're getting married, so I'll just quit." And I don't like getting things on the street. It's just like eating food out of the trash. You don't know what's in it, if it's dirty or anything. I don't know, just things like that kind of bother me. I don't know why. They have a lot of OCDs. I really do. I have way too many OCDs in my world. I'm always washing stuff down, double packaging stuff because I don't even let Chong eat grass. That's how bad sometimes my OCDs can get. I just like my own stuff and that's it, and I clean everything a certain way. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think I could. I don't think I would be a good at being homeless. And it doesn't help that I'm allergic to the outside, practically. Because those certain spiders, when they bite me and stuff, I get welts. I mean, I would probably just die of some random insect and get poisoned if I was homeless or something. I would not be homeless for long because I'd be dead. So I try to make sure that in the house, I spray and there's just not a lot of bugs at all because me and bugs don't get along. I don't hate them, but the thing is, when they bite me, it's not good. So I'm just not friends with a lot of bugs. I can't do it. I know it sounds terrible, but I just can't. I mean, I used to like ladybugs when I was younger and lightning bugs, but I guess I was reading some like things on Facebook and lightning bugs are starting to diminish in population. And I think ladybugs too, which I don't know. I don't think this is a good thing because these are like not the horrible bugs. I mean, they're kind of dirty because they're bugs, but at least they didn't bite. It seems like the aggressive bugs are. I don't know why, but I guess just the lightning bugs are going away. But we're getting a shit ton of mosquitoes. I was getting eaten alive for the last 2 summers with mosquitoes, with Chong. And it was crazy. So I do think there's increased. I think because of the lightning bugs and just like I think certain insects are dominating other insects, and I don't want the insects to dominate that are horrible for everybody involved. I mean, these poor animals walking around with all of these damn mosquitoes all over the place. It can't be a good thing. I feel bad for the animals outside. I really do. I just, I don't know. I have a love for animals. Oh no, I would never do that. I have never ever smoked a rock or crack or anything like that. And I will never will. I have seen too many horrible things. And I used to work in drug rehab, so no thank you. But you're funny. And I hope you never smoke it, and I hope nobody you know smokes it, but it seems like everybody's overdosing over something crazy. And I don't understand it. This crazy fentanyl stuff. I mean, I don't know if it's worth messing up my entire day just to fry my brain. You can do a lot of things with your life. And it's just not really, I guess, overly good to do that and kind of make your day worse. I mean, you wouldn't be able to have any conscious thought to do anything. I would think. I heard some of that stuff makes you look like a zombie and stuff. Some of it, I keep forgetting that one guy that does all this interviewing on YouTube that my husband listens to. He like interviews gangs and all kinds of stuff. It's crazy. Oh, hi, Rube. How's your relationship going? Is it getting better? I've been worrying about you if you were heartbroken over there. Nobody has to worry about me. The only thing I get is so pissed off that I hope the police don't come. It gets that deep at work. I got so tired of gossip and people bothering me. I literally went up to my boss and I was either going to have the police come because there would have been no calming me down. I would have I literally just busted out crying and I felt stupid. But when I get really pissed off and I want to murder somebody, but I know it's wrong, I just bust out crying and I hate it. But yeah, this is what I've been going through. Getting sick because I always do. But I feel like I pretty much have her attention fully. She responds to me quick. We are always on the phone, and now she tells me about her day. Well, that's good. I'm headed to tell her back, but I feel. You know what I did, Ruben? It was really childish and crazy of me, and it was wrong. When me and Rob were dating before we got married, for like 4 months, we were sleeping together and everything. And he would bring me food and I would go to work, he'd go to work, and he was helping me with my bills and everything. But I literally told him we were not dating. And he goes okay and just went to work, and then one day he just I did I just literally was like, fine, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, this stuff happens in your 20s because sometimes women it go through stuff. It really women always are going through some crazy stuff because you have to eventually get kids to manage and then you have a house to manage. And I had kids in a house and he was pretty much the next stepdad type thing that came in. So it was chaos. But anyways, I strung him along for 4 months, and then one day, one of my son's friends and everybody came over and everything, and there was this girl, and she just lay sitting on his lap and stuff, and I got jealous. And she was flirting with him, and I just got jealous, and I was like, "Fine, we're boyfriend and girlfriend." So, I mean, sometimes something randomly happens like this, and it was just some girl that came over. And then he was like, "Why are you jealous we're not together?" And then I just like, whatever. All right. Well, she's probably not going to. I mean, she's in her 20s, right? Something like that, like 25. Is it something like that, 25? Because you got to figure age. I mean, I'm already pretty much lived more than I need to live and seen too much. But I remember how it was to be 25. I mean, I've watched my mother die. I watched my dad with a horrible drug addiction. After my mom died, he got on. I don't know if it was crack back then or if he was. I know he was doing coke after my mom died. Okay, well, how young? Okay, you're 22. You guys are babies. All this is she's scared, literally. You guys don't have kids, and you're just and she's not legal to drink, and you are. So this is her being confused, literally. So if she's not sleeping with nobody and it's exactly like you're together, but it's not official, you are together. She's just afraid to find her inner feelings. This is how women are in their 20s. And and it's hard for us because once you get with one person, then eventually a baby comes. And then if you don't get along with that person, somehow you got to go through all this ugly stuff to get along, to move on, and then make sure the kids are taken care of. I mean, I've done this and it's pretty fucking horrible. I had to do with my oldest son, well, his father, and I ended up just going back to school because I hated him so much. I just couldn't deal with him, so I ended up just. That's why I went to school for so long. Cause, and then once I finished out school and everything, it just seemed like I had better jobs than him, and because he left me, Brandon's my oldest. His dad was sleeping with someone else's fiance, so I ended up having to break up with him, and then he ended up literally having sex with a stripper. I had to go get a STD check and everything. And then I just went to school for 2 years. So he ended up marrying the stripper somehow. I guess, and Brandon said he didn't die of AIDS or nothing. So I guess he got lucky there. But I guess the moral to the story is you gotta be, when you're young, it's all great. It's like me and Brian were great when we were younger. We were attached by the hip because I dated my oldest son's father for 8 years. We were together from 16, and then do the math there. So we were kind of inseparable. Then just one day, it got really weird, and then all of a sudden he started selling drugs. I got I ended up getting knocked. I ended up getting knocked up, and my parents said I could get an abortion if I wanted to. I just told them I didn't know if I I wasn't sure about my whole. I know I'm Catholic, and we're not supposed to believe in abortion, but the money was there, and I was going through the stuff with Brian, and I just was like, you know what? I told my mom because I had bad health when I was younger. It was always stupid stuff. It was either constant ear infections. That's why I'm half deaf. That's why probably why this agrees with me a lot easier than if there was background sound. Because I got 50% hearing in my one ear. But I mean, it was hard breaking up with him, and we were so close. But sometimes it's good to just to kind of stay faithful, and I guess just kind of just let her just find out on her own that you guys are technically dating. And then you'll probably stay together a long time, and hopefully you don't have to go through what I did twice. I mean, I think I can fight the next world war and be okay, and not get PTSD from everything people put me through. Watching my mom die, I think, was literally the worst thing that ever happened to me. I even went to a double funeral. It was my cousin. My one cousin, he graduated from being an engineer and everything, and he got this great job in Germany. He was at, and then his grandpa died. So he had his Harley Davidson and everything brought over on this stupid plane because he's was my cousin was so egotistical, it was ridiculous. And the last thing I said to my cousin, I think I called him an asshole, and I probably shouldn't have. But anyways, he got back from the airport, and as he was coming out of the airport, he got hit by a truck, and he died. And this was in Germany when this happened, so they had to put his grandpa's funeral on hold. We had to bring the body from Germany to the United States. I mean, this took a lot of money just to get two bodies together, and I felt horrible. But I've just had these crazy things happen. But you guys are getting back together. She told me multiple times we were basically back together, but she hasn't actually said it. Well, she's 20. I mean, when you're 20, it's a different animal. You're starting to learn yourself and you're becoming a woman more. Give her time. I'm sure it'll be fine. If she hasn't gone out and partying and she's still with you and she's saying you're basically together, then you're together. Maybe she just kind of wants to reevaluate things, and it doesn't have to always be romantic. I mean, at 20 years old, you look at statistics. I think it's 50%, they say, of all the marriages end up in divorce. And even if you don't fully get a divorce, there's some kind of breakup, and sometimes you can have three baby daddies. I mean, it happens all the time. And maybe she just wants to make sure that things like this don't happen. That's what I'm thinking. And it's good she doesn't want a bunch of baby daddies. I think she's actually good for you, and I think you should just consider yourself guys together and just kind of let her just go through whatever issue she's going through becoming a woman, because she'll probably be pregnant. I vibe at about 24. I feel in 4 years she's going to be pregnant with your baby. I don't know, for some reason I feel this. I don't know. I feel like this is going to be your life mate, but she may want to go back to school, and she got all this stuff going on. I think it's literally just what she personally wants to do with her life. Because 20 is a big thing. I was working at was working at a photography studio when I was 20. And then, even though I made decent money because I ran a little studio thing, I was thinking of things that fulfilled me. That's when I went back to school for medical stuff. And it's hard. And you got just to go back when you have a decent job to come and do another one. Sometimes that could be real hard, and it's a lot on a woman because they want to be. Most women that are responsible want to know if they have to walk away, they can take care of themselves. So this could be where she's going. I don't know, and that's a good path to be on. Yeah, I don't know. I see her pregnant, and I see her pregnant with. I just don't know. I just can't feel what the sex is, but I know she's going to be pregnant. I don't know. Sometimes it's hard to do that so far off in the future. It's like 4 years. But I feel when she's like 23, getting close to 24, you guys are gonna have a baby, and she's gonna try to figure out kind of what she wants to do in life with the job you're gonna make decent money with. I mean, everybody has shitty jobs at the mall and photography studios and stuff when they're younger, and then you want something in your 30s and 40s that's at least 30, 40,000 a year, at least. I mean, if you can, I guess it hit 60,000, that would be great. But in this economy with college costs so high, and when it's not as easy it used to be when I was younger. When I was younger, you could have stayed on welfare as long as you went to school. And I was a single mom for a little bit because when Brian ended up cheating on me, and was a single mom with my oldest. I just went to school, and they paid me to go to school, so that's why I had so much school involved. But I do see you guys with a baby. I don't see you married. I feel the baby's gonna come before the marriage. It's gonna be something like that. She's gonna want the baby to have a good life and have their parents together. So I would just let it flow. If she's talking on the phone, just talk to her and just kind of let her do her thing. Maybe, hopefully, she goes to school or does some kind of course or go to Polaris or one of these trade schools and just start doing her thing in life. And maybe by the time she's 30, she could be making 30,000 a year or more. I would just keep waiting. And honestly, if you're talking to her almost every single day, anyways, why not? Because you guys pretty much are in a relationship. She just hasn't admitted, won't admit it to herself. That's how people are in their 20s. She's probably scared. That's a big commitment. And, and she's fresh in the world, and she's just now becoming a full adult. So you figure 18's not a full adult because you're leaving your parents' house, and you got to figure out what kind of jobs you're gonna get a little bit here because your parents as a woman saying don't depend on a man. What if that man walked away? So you're looking at these little jobs everywhere. I mean, that's what my parents did, and I think everybody that has a daughter should do that. Because if somebody was to walk away from you tomorrow, you should have enough money for you and your child. And if it doesn't, I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if you guys stay together and you're one of the lucky ones that are married for 80 years, it just means you're gonna have a house sooner. Because if you have one person making 20, 30,000 a year and another person, you're getting a little under 60,000 a year together. So if you don't break up, you could probably, I would say you could, if you saved up 20,000, which you could with that kind of income, watching what you do closely, you probably can get at least $100,000 house. So sometimes it's better to let these things take their course. And I feel this way in life because maybe me going through hardships led me here. But I have in the medical field, I see a lot of people, lots of kind of people. And I do see people that, maybe dated one or two girls and then met the love of their life, and damn, they were married fucking 70 years. I almost fell over dead, but I thought wasn't even sure if I was alive. The guy told me they were married 65 years. I couldn't believe it. And it was his high school sweetheart. It was crazy. But it happens, Rue. It's usually really good karma when this happens to people, but it does happen. And it's really weird and rare, but it's for like angel souls. People that don't really sin and do horrible things will literally meet, so a lot of times they'll meet their soulmate in their 20s. So, and I've done some bad things, Rube. I mean, I don't go out there murdering people or anything like that, but I've hurt people's feelings. Sometimes that people say that's some of the best qualities about me. That's why I make more money. But you're a very sensitive soul. And I see with your energy a lot of brightness. I've never seen a lot of bright. I mean, I deal with people a lot, and not a lot of people have brightness. And things like this happen to people like you. I do feel she is, but you got to remember you have three. And the universe does this because some people are awful, like I was when I was younger, and I'm in my third soulmate. That's why three is a very dominant number in the universe. You get three possibilities of love. It's very with numbers and astrology, but you do get three. I do believe she's one of your soulmates. And in these kind of situations, I feel that it's better to try to make it work with the first soulmate. Because when you break up with your first soulmate, it's like your heart's ripped out of your chest. And there's always going to be regret. And it is what it is at that point. So, and it's the worst heartbreak you'll ever go through. So I hope this does not happen, and I don't think it will. But I feel she just has a lot of self doubt, and it's okay. She's 20. You can't expect her to have the knowledge of a 40-year-old at 20 years old. I mean, you should be happy she's not cheating on you at this point, because most 20-year-olds who are going through this actually cheat on people. It's a horrible practice, but they do it. And she's not cheating on you. I just feel she's trying to find her place in the world. Didn't find my place fully in the world until my older son was two. That's when I started all my STNA classes and my medical classes. So I was about 20. It's a turning point in people's lives. It's things will like change you a little. And it's like, I think they always say in a relationship after 7 years, if you don't get along, you pretty much, the 7 year itch, you'll find someone else. That just, but every 7 to 10 years, people change. And she's at that turning point of change. Hello, new friend. Okay. Well, see, there you go. I mean, it's just because you're a good person and you get along with one soulmate, your other two soulmates, if you guys are meant to be and you can make it work with her, they end up, those people that were your other possibilities, they got three soulmates. Everything runs in threes. Even death, it always runs in threes. I swear to God, when one resident of ours dies, and then usually a month later someone else dies. And then the one person you thought was never going to die becomes the third random possibility. It happens in death all the time, but threes is a very powerful number. That's why the Trinity is such a big thing. They really do. Like, in any religion, a trinity, three becomes one. And it's always like that in the universe. Like, three black holes will come together and make one super one. That's what's happened to our Milky Way. And honestly, it upsets me over here. I have ways I would like to die, but not being sucked into a damn black hole. That's not on my list of dying. And I'm very specific on how I'm going to die. I know I'm going to live a long time, but if I can't get a bullet to the head, which I would prefer, I guess hospice and Roxanol with hospice, in a nice hospital room would be fine. But it's sure the hell not with a black hole. So I don't know. I don't. Maybe the reason we're still here and haven't got sucked into this black hole is because there is a God. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you, Bruce. But I can tell you they're out there. But I do feel that you and this girl are gonna work out. You enjoy. I do feel you're gonna have a baby in about 3 years. I feel it's gonna be a boy, possibly. I like see a lighter haired boy, not blonde, but like, I don't know, light brown or something, some shit like that, like Brandon had. Brandon's hair darkened up as he got older. Brandon, when he was born, his hair was like, it was like a dirty blonde when he was younger, and then it got darker as he got older. So I feel like I don't know, I feel it a little boy. So I think you'll be fine. But don't be telling her all about this, because about the kid, because it's not going to be good, because it's going to stress her out more. But I think she's going to come around, and I think she's going to find a decent job and find herself. I mean, I didn't really fully find myself. And I found myself in my 20s, but I did it. I've done every job in the world, it seems. Except for working at the zoo. I would have loved to work at the damn zoo. I love animals so much. Well, see, there you go. I mean, sometimes I dream of things, but I don't always get insight on everything at once. Sometimes paths have to build, and and sometimes this happens. I mean, she's been going through a lot of stuff. I mean, 20-year-old women are like this. I mean, that's why a lot of men now, I guess it's a thing. My sons were telling me that guys like older women. And people in their 20s, a lot of them prefer people in their 30s and 40s because they can't stand people in their 20s because they go through this. But if you got a lot of patience and you could do things like that, and if you got a lot of patience and you could wait and till she finally figures out you guys always had a relationship, I think you'll be fine. And I'm not saying go, yeah, no. I'm just saying that a lot. That's why a lot of people they have this age gap thing going. Because some people want somebody that's at a level that they're at, and women in their 20s are not at this level. They're not. Honestly, when you're in your 20s, when I was growing up, you were told to go to school, try to get a scholarship, and maybe in 4 years you were allowed to date somebody. Or you could date someone in college, but you weren't allowed to get married till you graduated. It was very strict. I went through. I would have loved to go to Notre Dame, but I ended up going to community college because I didn't want to get an abortion. I just felt like somehow that would backfire and somehow I wouldn't be able to have any kids. So, I don't know. I mean, life is life. Sometimes, if you commit a big sin like that, which it probably is a sin to have an abortion, because you are, and I mean, I'm personally pro-choice, but I guess I just felt at the time if you can avoid it, you should, because sometimes there's bad consequences if you don't do the right thing. And some women that have got abortions at a young age like that have problems having kids later. And I felt that if I got married, I might not be able to give my husband a kid. So, but honestly, me and Brian are very close. I call him my little asshole all the time because he is. He's very smart. He's good with numbers, and he's the one that's most like me. The other one's more like his dad. But the one that I raised by myself, where we're so much alike, we argue. They think we're married. They literally thought it was his wife the one time when we were at the bar. It was crazy. But anyways, let me get this question. Oh yeah, you can ask a question. I just like to talk to my friend Rube. I don't have that many friends over here. I got tons of friends over on Facebook. I was talking to my some of my friends on Facebook through like reels and stuff, and I want to do pause for hope. I feel there's enough animal rescue groups in the world, and I get it, but I'm thinking if I could get my hands on some decent money, I want to get an animal shelter and start it in my hometown, and it's going to be a no-kill shelter. And from there, I want to train service dogs. I want to take all these dogs in these homes, train them in service dog training like I did my dog for service dog, and get all their paperwork done. Because hopefully by that time, I'm hoping to have a lot of subscribers, so I can pay like $1,000 for people that I pair up with these dogs, where they get a full service dog. And in this way, they don't have to these dogs don't have to come back because they'll have a secure home somewhere. So, and I want to call pause for hope. And I don't think I can expedite this kind of thing here because I know you can collect money on Facebook for these kind of things. And I do have 6 groups in that check mark, so I think I'm going to start on Facebook. And then hopefully, whatever money I generate from all 5 networks in the next year or so, I'm just going to look at investing in the animal shelter. Because I think animals would benefit all the horrible people in the world, especially the people coming out of jail and stuff. They already train service dogs. I didn't know this till I read this one book. I think Daisy. It's this book I actually live streamed it and read it. But anyways, it's this prison, and the people that obviously didn't have a violent crime was training the dogs, and they train the dogs in prison for everybody with disabilities and stuff. So I figure maybe I could do the same thing, and if I see a pity or whatever that's just is going to be in a bad way, take him to my shelter and make him a service dog and train him and stuff. And maybe I can make an impact on their lives. Because I really think that animals show us how to love and care about one another and remind us when they die that everything's not set in stone. I think that's the reason they are here, to remind us how to love and how painful it is when they die and they're not here. Because what do? We cry our ass off. When my one dog, my Cocker Spaniel Tuffy, died, I was in high school. You would have thought one of my family members died. I cried as much as I did at the double funeral with my cousin and his grandpa. For Tuffy, I was crying for I was sad for months. I was so sad I could barely. I had to take my own bereavement time. But I think animals show us this and make us appreciate life better. And if we could pair up, I guess, people with a secure dog that's had all their shots, has been trained, and then if you a service dog can even go on an airplane with you. And I probably where I live at, it's a bougie little place. I mean, they would love that, and I think people, and I just have cameras there because they do it at a lot of the animal shelters, and the zoo does it. Like all the enclosures, they'll have cameras, and then I can do just like some of these other YouTubers do. If I had my own animal shelter, I can just tape in the animal shelter, and then I want to match people up with them, so I could do a whole thing episode, I guess, on just me matching somebody up with a pit bull or something that we were training for a service dog. So these are my ideas. And I feel through Facebook and Instagram and everything together, I could pull it off. Because Facebook is the best place if you want to do anything involved with animals, especially dogs and cats. There are so many dog and cat funny meme videos between them 2 networks. They're awesome. My favorite one, there was a cat that was fishing, and I don't know if they just edited it or not, but it looked like a catfishing, and I thought it was hilarious. And it said, "Have you ever seen a catfish?" And literally had this catfishing. And you find this stuff there that's funny. And I feel like I could probably get money raised up quicker over there. Because this checkmark business over there is a major thing, and I don't know why. It took me a year on a waiting list while I was doing stuff on Facebook when I got monetized to be considered. And then finally, after a year and 3 months, they gave me a check mark. Because they have to evaluate all your material to make sure that you're positive and you're not telling people to do crazy things. And they got to make sure that you're not involved in any kind of trafficking of any humans or animals and stuff. They're very secure about this. I don't even know how I survive, or I don't, and everybody. It was a goal. It became a personal social experiment. So, all of this has been a social experiment, and it started with Facebook. And all my friends are over there. Literally, all my work friends and stuff are in my main Chong group. So, I guess I cheat. I have family members in there. I got work members. I became popular at work, and then their friends tell me to join the group, tell them to join the group or subscribe to me. But I think this is the first time I'm getting a lot of people. Because everybody at work I went to 4 days because I don't know, it was getting too much. And then the husband makes more money than me, so I just went to 4 days. And everybody does support me at work. But I do not tell my boss that I smoke pot on my streams or cuss, because I think if my boss found this out, she would yell at me because she's yelled at me for cussing before. She said I got potty mouth. And I do. I do have potty mouth. I tell people to go fuck off when they bother me at work. I do. Sometimes I'm a horrible person. But somehow people love me. Even though I'm telling them to go fuck off. I don't know. I don't understand it. But I'm trying to look for your question, Tanya. And I know if I've been manipulated and played by V. This V, I never get any good vibes about, just so you know. This V has a very, very, very dark aura. And honestly, he may be a possibility, but this V has turned very dark. I just, I never get any kind of happy feelings about him. Well, I'm just letting you know because I wasn't able to tap into it as much before because there was like so much other traffic and chaos going on in the stream. But yeah, I don't get good vibes with him. I mean, I just feel like he has a lot of skeletons and demons, that his own personal demons, I feel he has. Well, he has a lot of personal demons, that man. And honestly, I don't know if he's strong enough to get over his personal demons. Even if someone has feelings for you and you got enough personal demons, they can destroy you. My ex, my oldest son's father, was like that. He loved me, but he was just. It took him a lot of years to get better. It took him 5 years to be a better person. And I feel like he's literally like Brandon's father. I really do. But we'll see what his path is. I mean, eventually I think he'll be a good person, but I think it's going to be a while for him. He's very stubborn and egotistical. And he has a darker aura, just so you know. I mean, I do too, but I'm just actually a lot more respectful, I guess. So I'm always a little nicer because I like to be respectful, but he's not, and I'm not egotistical. But he's with the dark aura and egotistical, so I don't know. But he's right now on a fixed moon, which means that V is still thinks that things could be the way he wants them to be in his life, pretty much. Which isn't good because if you don't see where there could be change or things like that, you're just not really seeing the whole truth. And he don't see whole truths, this V. He never does. Oh, hello again. Okay, I'm just gonna say friend because I have no clue. That's a long, clever word there. But anyways, he's in this fixed moon. They want him to start actually having love for himself and other people, but he's just in his head. He's kind of like my younger son. He's just being real stubborn. He's in his head. So, and then eventually, when they would like him to get to a gibbous moon, which means he's close to achieving the things he needs to do. But I mean, he does love you, but I don't know. It seems like the energy's darker than last time. It's almost like something happened that made him just doubt everything in his life. So, I don't know. So, there was a disappointment somewhere. So, I could not tell you what, if he's going through some stuff. And my son, and I will tell you, my youngest son has been in his head for 2 years. You could be in your head literally for like 2 years if you want. And you could be just torturing your own self for this long. But I don't know. I would just at this point, if you want to, if you can, and like, if somebody wants to take you out to eat at this point, I would take the invitation and go and get a nice meal with someone. People do. I mean, some people are awful. It is wrong. I mean, my ex-husband used to drink a lot, and sometimes we'd get into fights, and I don't mind. I can hold my own. But the one time on it was New Year's Eve, my youngest was in his room. You do. I mean, my ex husband. The reason we're not really married is he literally hit me in the head, drunk, in front of my oldest son. I mean, he would just do crazy stuff, and then he would say that, and we were all drunk, and he would say, "Don't say anything to this person and that person," and sometimes people are like that. Now he's a better person. It took 10 years, but he did. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know if. I mean, he will eventually take you back if you let him, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I mean, my ex husband called me a whore. He hit, and then I mean, he did a lot of bad things. And before I would try to call the police, he wouldn't leave the apartment for a year. When they're drinking like that, it's not good. I wouldn't. I mean, it was the hardest thing I had to do, leave my ex husband, because he done adopted my oldest kid and we had a 10-year-old together. But I had to do it. I had to do it for the kids and for me, because I literally, yeah, if I didn't have the kids, I would have just killed myself, honestly, at that point. I did not want to live. I was so unhappy. Not, I just thought the only way out was death. Once you get trapped in that situation with kids, it's not good. It's actually some of the most horrible stuff you can go through. You can. It is, but I mean, it took me to actually. I just found myself afterwards. I really did. I focused on the kids and I focused on work, and I just kind of left it up to the universe and just said the fuck it, and I'm not gonna be with no one. And about, because he kept threatening me, saying that if I he wanted alimony. So if I was to date anybody or anything, he was going to get alimony. So I didn't do anything but work, and I didn't see anybody for 3 years. It is, yeah. I went through it, and if you do not want a long term commitment with someone like that, believe me, it was. I mean, I'm not going to say the whole 12 years we were married is horrible, but I want to say the first 8 was really good, and then the last 4 just went down like dominoes. That's how it is being married to an alcoholic. And then if you have kids involved, they yell at the kids. He literally brought a knife out in front of Zach and pointed at me and said he had to defend himself when he was drunk. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that happened. So I honestly, if you can avoid being with an alcoholic, you probably should, because they eventually will migrate towards violence. You might get hit on the head real bad on New Year's Eve like me. And they get very jealous and they're just back and forth with their emotions. So, but yeah, if you want to talk about relationships, I mean, I'm divorced from an alcoholic, and the first one that I was engaged to, my oldest actual natural father, he cheated on me in a horrible way. And then he ended up marrying the person that he cheated on me with, and my oldest calls her stepmom. So if you want to hear about some fucked up situations, I can tell you them. My family, half of them's from the South, so my grandmother will tell you that during the Depression, sometimes people, like if there was a domestic, they would get lost in the hills, and they never left the hills. And I used to go to her, why are we talking about the hills? And I guess apparently, if there was a dispute or whatever during the Depression, you really couldn't go to court and take care of these things. So sometimes people apparently got died and got buried in hills. So I don't know, but I have some crazy stories I could tell you and give you more perspective on why sometimes it's better to have a fresh start. And it's gonna hurt a little. Don't get me wrong. You're gonna go through your angry stage and your happy stage and everything. Go through all those stages. But in the end, you got to separate, or you're gonna want to kill yourself being in that relationship. And I don't lie. That's where a lot of my depression and PTSD came from. It was literally from my first marriage, my first engagement, and with and then 12 years of marriage from the second one. The third one's we don't really argue a lot, thank God. So, all right, now let me see your question, family magic. What will Scorpio next action towards me? Is this the one you're crushing on? I think I got that there. Well, it will go ahead and I think I remember you from the other stream. So is this your friend that you're here? Yes, he. Okay, was this the friend you were talking about that you weren't together but you had a crush on? Or am I getting you? Sometimes I get situation and people confused. I talk to too many people one day. Sometimes at work it just drains my brain cells. I ended up giving chips to my one resident because I just wanted them to go down the hall. Alright. Alright. Well, are you still there? Oh, okay. He. Alright, is this cuddling? Oh, crushing each other. Okay. Alright, you guys are in your 20s too, I'm taking it too. Like Ruben, his girlfriend Joy. Okay, he's admitting he's interested. Well, okay, you're older than Ruben Joy. Okay. I don't know, I felt like you had a young spirit for some reason. You seemed like a free young spirit to me. I mean, I can guarantee I'm probably older than you. It's just I'm a young spirit. And I'm a free spirit and nobody's stopping me. But I mean, we could still do reading, but I have experience with this. Now, if you have a friend that has a crush on you and he's admitting it to you, I know how men operate. I've had enough experience with them, with the three major relationships. But anyways, if he's saying he's interested, it means he's a little bit shy, but he's standoffish because he likes you. That's a sign. If he didn't really like you, he would. He's trying to make it the situation a little better, so you feel like don't feel disrespected in a way. See, he's trying to make sure it lasts. So I feel this is a really good positive sign because men that have done this and took their time with me, which is the one I'm married to, when things went slower like that, it's, I mean, me and the current one, we've been together 10 years and I think we had one major argument in 10 years and that was it. And it was stupid. So that's probably a really good sign. And people like that, if they're doing that, that usually they're more compatible with you because they're trying to learn how you are so they don't have to, I guess how you say it, they don't want to hurt your feelings and stuff. Well, the slower means The longer it takes to build, the longer it lasts. That's what they usually say. Like, if he admitted he likes you, sex is probably coming in about at least a month. And then once the sex comes, if there's a slow progression, then eventually when you guys get married or whatever you choose to do, but when you make that long-term commitment together, it'll last longer. Now, if he was just kind of like being nice but kind of being pushy, that would mean that he didn't respect you as much. But he's actually trying to be very respectful, learn your habits, and he wants it to last, which is a very good sign. These are very positive signs. And you seem like a relationship oriented person. I pick up these vibes, so I think it would be good, but I'm still going to do the reading. But we'll see. That's the best thing. Maybe you guys, you never know. Maybe you guys will be together 20 years or 30. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm going to die with Rob, so that's just is what it is there. But that's what relationships are about. But I could do a pathway reading on your relationship, because if there's any kind of emotional status change like this, maybe something builded inside of them. Sometimes that happens. Well, he's in a full moon in Gemini, which is good because this just means the answers that he wants that is getting like really really confused about is starting to come to him. And that's good because once you can deal with the truth, you can move on and have a happy life. Because if you can't handle the truth, you can't really move on. So that's good that that's happening. And once his answers come, they want him to go to North Node. It's kind of like a test. He's getting answers, and they're testing him with making him do stuff that he wouldn't normally do. That's what North Node is. Just coming out of your comfort zone. It's easy. And then the final pathway that they want him to be able to do is he got a new moon Aquarius, which is really good. It means Aquarius is love. And I'm picking up inner love. I just feel like he's a really nice person, but he doesn't have enough self confidence, and sometimes he belittles himself, or he doesn't think he's like good enough. So they want him to have a better self esteem and learn to love himself, and that probably would help everything too. But it's okay. I mean, everybody has a low self esteem at times in your life. But I feel like, that it's going to come along. But I feel about a month you're going to have sex. Maybe a little less than a month. But I feel like this relationship will last a lot longer. and will be more pure and fulfilling, and you'll be a lot happy. He's popular, so needs to build on. Well, just because you're popular doesn't mean you don't have a low self esteem. I don't have a high self esteem sometimes of myself. It's just something that, it doesn't matter how popular. I'm sure the president at time has, I'm sure Obama had problems with self esteem. It's just sometimes you don't feel like you did enough, or you don't feel like sometimes you've done enough. And you sometimes feel like shit because you felt like you could have done more or this or that. And sometimes people beat themselves up. As just popularity has nothing to do with low self esteem. Sometimes you just don't think you're good enough and you put on a good fake face. And a lot of times I do, but I try to work through issues, and this is why I personally smoke weed. So, but the world beats you down. And I talk about they beat you down. Sometimes, you gotta have money to live. You gotta have stuff, and sometimes, you just, people like, a lot of times in a work situation or even a school situation, you doubt yourself. And sometimes that's why you gotta learn to be strong in life. Well, he probably likes you. I mean, I guess the next progression in there would be sex. And then if you feel that he's not going to cheat on you and be honest with you, see where it goes. You might like him on that level to where you could spend a lot of years together. You never know. I mean, if he's not an alcoholic, I mean, alcoholics is a hard relationship to have. Mostly they got to hit rock bottom, but if he has no problems, I mean, everybody has little issues, and maybe self esteem was too strong of a word. Self doubt, maybe. And I think everybody has self doubt a lot of times, but some people just have way more than others. So, well, I mean, that's something you got to feel out. Sometimes you got to take the plunge and see where it goes. I've done that at times in my life when I was younger. Some people are really cool and you like them, and then sometimes you're together for and talking for months and months and months and all this, and then sometimes you just find out they're not the person you thought they were. Sometimes that you can have a mutual breakup. I did. I mean, I was with this guy for like 6, 7 months. And we had a really good relationship. But he ended up finding somebody else and marrying her because he didn't feel strong enough towards me. So we had a mutual breakup. It's scary, but sometimes you have to do it. That's how human beings form relationships. They literally they have like a mating rituals, which pretty much dating is a mating ritual for humans. And to have proper human attachment, generally men want physical and intellectual. and they usually have mental checklists. It's very complicated, that relationship, even down to a chemical level. You're the only reason that we're actually attracted to different people is because of pheromones. And everyone, I guess, when they give off different pheromones, it attracts different kinds of people, these pheromones. So, I mean, see if you vibe with them, like the young people say. And you only live once. And then if it could have been a possibility, you don't want to die with regret. I've seen, I think, last month, two people die. One of them was with regret. And you might have to see it through so you don't die with regret if you're this caught up on them. Well, if you think you vibe with him, he seems nice. See if you could work out as a long term couple. You just, and try to, and if it doesn't work out, just, you guys might have to have a mutual breakup. I mean, I was dating a guy that went to Notre Dame for like a long while, and we really liked each other. He knew a lot about writing, and he was smart as hell, and I liked him a lot, and it really hurt my feelings. And when we broke up, because I think I liked him too much, but honestly, thinking back, I think it's better it ended mutually. But I regret it? No, because one thing leads one path to another path. Sometimes people are meant to be in our path for a lot of different reasons. He may have got put in your path to be your future husband. You don't know. You don't know until you try. That's why life is so scary. It really is. I wish I can make an agenda, an itinerary, and just write down stuff with life and don't have to worry about all the side stuff, but this is what life's about. A separation. From his wife's separation? Oh, okay. Well, maybe that's why I'm getting a month or so. Yeah, that's a sticky situation there. I don't know if they still do alimony. Okay, it was 6 months ago. All right. Do they still make the whoever sleeps with somebody? Are you allowed to sleep with somebody? I think after you're separated without paying alimony. I think you are. I'm not sure, but I don't think the courts enforce things like that. Then that's what had all of his problems with all this self-esteem and things is coming from. I mean, coming off a marriage, like, and you guys just, and two people not getting along really can make you doubt a lot of things about yourself. I did. Coming off a 12-year marriage, I doubted a lot of things, got depressed, and a bunch of shit. I know I had to move on, but I mean, he's probably gonna go through a lot. I mean, do they have kids together? I mean, that too could be an issue because the kids, One child. Oh, is it a boy or girl? Because this kind of changes everything a little bit. We already got there's. Oh boy. Okay. Is the little girl that have you met her? Because girls seem to get upset when daddy leaves and finds another woman. And they hold more grudges. Little girls. Because they're daddy's girls. Girls get attached to their dads. Oh, see this. This is why. This is the exact reason why he's not really talking to you. If there's a little girl involved, he don't want to lose his child. They and girls. Oh boy. All right. Well, I will. We'll talk about this now. Little girls. When I was going through the separation when they're 5, they're very attached to their father. Not so much the mom. So that's a daddy's girl right there. And he was married. She wants her mom and dad together. She's not going to want you and him together. So that's, I mean, Rob went through this when I was going through my divorce and stuff. And the kids hated him for a while. And then the kids finally start accepting him 5 years later. But my kids were older. But 5 years old that you're dealing with the her mom has more hand. A lot of hand. And that little girl, that's her mommy. So yeah. I would take it very slow. I would stay out of I wouldn't even want to meet her for a while. Well, yeah, because he don't want to upset his daughter, and his daughter's already attached to him. I mean, Rob was happy for like 3 years. We were together, and we just didn't tell no one. We just had a secret rendezvous for like a year or so. We just didn't tell a damn soul. You might have to do this. I mean, eventually after that, things kind of cooled down. But if you're married with kids, it's going to take at least 2 years for things to settle down. And you're only talking 6 months in. So I would just let him come to you. And if you want, I mean, maybe he doesn't want to do a full commitment because his ex is there. And she has a lot of control, and they haven't got a full divorce yet. So I don't know if they got property, but she gets the. I know with my uncle, they had over $100,000 to dispute, and my aunt, he called her a dirty whore because she got the house. He had to leave because they just made him leave, but she literally paid the house payment, and he had to go buy a whole other house. And then what the thing was when my cousin turned 18 or finished college, she would just owe my uncle money back. But he said he'd like lost half of everything. And then he had a lot of money to begin with, but she took a lot of it. So I would just have a low profile thing. Pretend you guys are teenagers sneaking around. Make it a fun situation. And it could actually bring you guys closer And then eventually the little girl is going to come around because she needs time. And she needs way more than 6 months. We're talking about a 5-year old that loves her mom and dad. That little girl's gonna need at least another 6 months. She's gonna need a full year. And then when you do meet her, he's gonna have to have things settled with her mother before any of this happens. And and then you got to figure out how you're presenting yourself to this 5-year old that probably hates your existence. Because that's her mom. You're not her mom. So there's going to be a lot of resentment there. And then if you guys decide to get married and you become stepmom, then she's really going to hate you. Because sometimes that goes one way or the other. If you try to say anything to her about maybe something she did if you guys end up getting married and he gets remarried, married to you, she might tell you, "You're not my mother. I'm going to call her," and leave. That's happened a lot in these situations. So I would just lay low profile. Tell him, until you get things settled with your wife, we could just have our thing and see where things go. And for just your own sake and your own sanity, I literally would just literally have fun and let him deal with that whole hurricane he got going on there. He got two angry women, a 5-year-old little lady, and then the ex. That's a lot. Oh, you're welcome. I mean, me and Rob are together now, so but he wasn't allowed to go to family gatherings for 6 years. It was so uncomfortable. He did not want to go. So yeah, it's a lot. I mean, I don't know why Rob even stuck around. I mean, you're not going to want to go to a family gathering because what are you going to say when his wife says something? We were technically still married and you were fucking him. Then what are you going to say to her? And she wouldn't be wrong because at this point she's pissed off that he left. I think she loved him enough to marry him and have a kid. So either way, you're going to be the whore. They call Rob the home wrecker. Actually, my kid, both of my kids called Rob a home wrecker for 6 years. And the thing was, I had to be happy. So I just ignored it and we're happy now, but it was a lot. But yeah, keep yourself away from that situation. And when he comes to you for condolence and normalcy. Give him normalcy, give him intimacy if you want, and don't talk about the wife. Just talk about each other and move it along. And I'm sure that he's being called every name in the book by his ex wife, and just let him deal with that on his own. Because he's going through hell and back. I had to listen to how Rob was horrible and this and that, and he was a home wrecker, and how can you do that, and this and that. I had to listen to this for 3 years, and I was going to family gatherings, and they just didn't bring Rob's name up. And then my oldest said, just don't even bring it up. Rob can't go. So it's an ugly situation, and it's you're an angel for sticking by him with all this going on. But I think it could work out. I mean, but you gotta be strong like Rob for that. So maybe really think about if that's what you want to do, because that 5 year old little girl is more important than you and his ex wife. If there was somebody that was the most important on this totem list, neither you or the wife are. It's this little girl. Everything depends on how the little girl feels about each of you. So you got to think about that too. And children, I mean, think about when you were younger. Children are very susceptible to things, and you got to be very careful how you talk to them because they interpret things a lot different than we do. I learned this from child psychology, so but I mean, if you want to talk again about the subject after you soak it in, I'm always here blowing my pipe and doing what I need to do when I get off work, trying to see if I'm actually a decent live streamer. I'm actually, I think, a little smoother with delivery now, which I actually been trying to make an actual effort. And I think it's because I'm smoking weed instead of before and losing my buzz. I think smoking weed while I'm live streaming is helping it because I actually have to smoke for my nerves and stuff and just different things to calm down because I'm very hyperactive. Very hyperactive. I have high energy. I don't have ADHD. But I do have very high energy, and it's hard for me to concentrate at times. So I do think the weed helps my concentration when I'm talking, but it doesn't help me at work because I can't do math very well when I'm high. But I could do a lot of stuff, just not math and things like that. So, but this does help with my speaking and helps me, like, I guess, just focus better. But maybe some weed strains do this. I don't know. I know he puts out the weed strain I'm supposed to have because we both go to this dispensary. And some things just give me too much energy, and then some things just stagger enough. I don't know why they're restricting these after a while. Oh yeah. Well, we all know how it is in life. Once you give birth, that is your most important thing. That's you're supposed to watch over that person until you die. That's the purpose of children. That's how our species goes. So I don't know, maybe you could be an asset to her one day. Who knows? I mean, my kid's like Rob now, so eventually that he's going to she's gonna like you eventually, but just kind of get let her process everything that her parents are doing because you don't want her being all confused and depressed and stuff. They don't know how kids don't know how to handle stuff like adults. I don't know how some of these live streamers talk for 6 hours. I really don't. I give them so much props, especially those debaters on TV where they have to talk really, really fast and they got to get so much stuff in. I don't know how anybody can hear all that stuff. I know it's an actual thing through college we're debating, but I was good at speech giving when I was in school. But I always have to. I like to think about my points before I say them. So I wasn't really good at debate as much. I can debate somebody with intelligence, but I don't. I can't put in 150 words in like 5 minutes. That's fucking insane. But it's a thing, and people do it, and I don't know how they do it. 150 words sometimes, and they count their words when they're debating. They have people on YouTube that do this too. I mean, I like listening to debates, and there's like a really good debater. I forgot his name too. It's in my subscription somewhere, but I think it was my son that used to listen to him all the time. But he just talks. He has really good points, and when they talk, like they time it, and he is really good at what he does. It is. It's pretty good stuff. I don't know if I could never think this fast. I need a minute to process thoughts at times. And these guys ramble 150 words in minutes. And it's just like, "Oh my fucking god, how do they do this?" I mean, it's hard as fuck. I don't I don't know if you guys ever tried that where you got to do the research isn't so bad and putting the speech together is not so bad. But I guess the hardest thing would be getting all that out, and you got to say them with, with perfect pronunciation and go fast as hell. I mean, I think that takes an act of God, personally. I mean, I don't know if I could ever do anything like that. And the political live streams, oh boy. And they have like a special like way they do those. They got actual political people that actually have jobs that is their job just to like do presidential speeches and stuff because it's crazy that people become president and don't write their own speeches. I don't feel it's sometimes is their own words they're speaking. Maybe that's why I think people should write more. I feel that if a person can write what they really want to say and express it in the way they want to say it, I feel it makes you more empowered than if you're reading someone else's words. To read someone else's words isn't, I don't know. I feel like you're, it's like you're talking, but it's almost like you're acting at that point. I think it's good to try to have your own words. And I've been looking at all these live streaming, all the different types too. Because broadcasting is a very broad topic. The political live streaming is insane. I think that's hard, and I there is people that actually do that, and they put together all these political live streams. I don't know how the fuck they do it either. It's a lot, and it takes a lot of people. It really does. But I think I'm getting better because I'm trying to study them and try to get, and I'm trying to study them enough to see what works and what doesn't work and how they project themselves onto their audience. Because they do in a certain formula where people actually understand and they do repeat it, but usually it's, I don't know if they're doing an interview like 2020 does and all this stuff, like the serious people. When I studied like live streaming, I go to the top. And I feel if you listen to the people on the top, you get an idea of how to make yourself a little better. But yeah, the political analysis people, if you go there, they're called political analysts. They make some good money. OMG, they make a lot. But it is a very hard job. So, but they actually have good live streaming. So I've been watching some of their live streaming, and they have different styles. I've noticed. So, because sometimes you get confused, because sometimes it's like you're up here and you have questions, which is easy, but then sometimes you have to have a topic within a topic within a topic. And I feel these kind of live streams, like the political ones, kind of serve as what you can use for practice to get ideas. But that just comes because my brain sits there and this is what it wants to do all the time, all day long. And then it gets worse when I'm not high because it does this all day long with math. And then I'll be at work going, oh my God, I need to go and get so and so dressed. And I just move it along. My brain is always overworking itself. I think I'm just gonna die thinking of 100 things at once sometimes. It's crazy. But I have been researching these black holes, and I came over here because some of my theories I have on space and things. I'm not saying like I'm a scientist, but I think with some of the new theories, like if they correlated certain numbers, we can understand and be on a pathway to finding out about these black holes and these volcanoes. These volcanoes terrify me under this ocean. They really do. We have underwater volcanoes going off a lot, and they say it's because of plastic. I guess I could buy that. There's a lot of pollution. But then there was like 50 black holes around the earth. And people were not addressing this as maybe we should put this on the neighborhood watch or something. No, no one mentions anything, and they're not interested in 50 black holes. And then I was more curious. So I listened to a Harvard lecture over here on YouTube on volcanoes. So I guess it goes with heat when the Earth is more heated. And I guess these people we're in like in the middle. We get a lot where we're getting a lot of radiation. But I guess these are my random thoughts when I'm high. I mean, this is probably why I've never done a lot of bad things, because in my spare time this is what I do, and then I just literally just pass out, and then I have to go to work. And if I don't make it to work, I think they're gonna personally be at my door asking me if I'm okay. But I thought when I honestly I was funny because me and my brother we like to do funny stuff all the time. And I'm trying to think of that one actor. Oh my god, I'm so horrible with names. He was in This Is the End, but it was like a blogging thing, or they were all stuck in the house, and the end of the world came, and the devil was outside. It's just a comedy. It's Seth Rogen. was, I think, Seth Rogen wrote it or something. He's in it too. And with that guy, and anyways, they had this blogging thing, and I just thought, I said, wouldn't it be cool to have a blogging thing every day, kind of like he did? And literally, when he would talk, when he was like venting through the whole movie, and they all go in front of the camera, just venting, and I was like, how cool would that be for me? Instead of like for like 20 blogs, just have it go for like, I don't know, a lot of blogs. Because really, this is one big blog, so this is how I piece these things together. And then it's almost like a mini movie because I keep everything raw. I don't like to edit anything because I like to edit my own progress. I feel by the time I hit my 200th live stream, I think I'm going to be better. I think every day it gets a little better. I actually was able. I think I need to smoke weed while I'm trying to put together a cordial live stream. I think that's what I need to do. But at least I got getting to the problems, and plus, it's a record of my life because I don't think people think about it in depth like I do. I mean, a lot in this world gets forgotten. There's a lot of things that get forgotten in this world. There's people that become forgotten. It's crazy. So I thought maybe it'd be good to have like a documentary in case I come up missing, or you never know. Because it seems like if you come up missing and you're on social media, or it not so much like a digital creator or whatever, if you're just talking to your friends on Facebook or whatever, because a lot of people do that on Facebook. That's why you get money for making a lot of like unique posts. But if you need some kind of documentary of your existence, because if you come up missing, if you are murdered, perhaps it kind of gives you insight, and they kind of know where you were at a certain time before you came up missing or something. Or something horrible can happen to you, and maybe someone, I don't know, just hadn't seen you for a long ass time, and then they end up dying. Or you just end up dying, and they haven't seen you and they forgot. I don't know. I feel like it's almost like a verbal diary with actually just kind of like a video chat type thing. It's like video chatting, video diary. This is why I liked it, because I thought that movie was so bomb ass because they all get in front of the camera and they'd be like, if they were feeling bad, they'd be like, "Yeah, I told her to suck my dick," and they'd be in front of the camera, just say this ridiculous, crazy, funny stuff. And I said, why not have a channel like that? Because I have my one friend, she's studying this light language and doing all this spiritual awakening stuff. And I'm just too lazy to do anything like that. It's whatever comes natural. But now she has no gas money. So I all these are just logs that these random crazy events don't hopefully just don't happen to me, because the minute somebody, I feel like sometimes I came on a bad situation and came here, And sometimes I really feel like the universe separates me from any kind of stress. I really do. Because all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she's on her way getting a new job, and she doesn't have enough gas to get out here now. And it's like right before she was supposed to live stream with me. It's like when people are going through personal trauma, they get moved from me, and then they naturally come back. It's very weird. So I like to have my random thoughts because sometimes I forget. And I like to keep all my funny stuff, even when I was trying to teach people how to cook and I can't barely cook. I just find it, I just find it hilarious, I guess. I mean, I could be at a bar drinking or something, or I could just be here smoking weed and doing my video documentary. Because you never know. I could get hit by a car tomorrow, anything could happen. That's why I live every day like it's my last anymore. Oh, yeah. I even took a vitamin today. I was really, really sick. It was terrible. I'm finally getting better, but it's like I have to take. I got. I actually. I like this vitamin water, but I can't afford any tablets for like 3 days. So I actually had to break down and do vitamin. Now I literally have to do vitamin every day for my immune system. It's crazy. And then everybody says I should have been doing it anyways. So I don't know. I think I get sicker honestly because I'm around all the sickies. I've got COVID 3 times, and literally it was all 3 times were from work. Literally. And what are you going to do? That's why I just tell them to put me in a bubble. I'll just get COVID again. I got paid, I think, all 3 times. That was the nice part about it. To me, it was like a flu. I didn't really have any side effects. I actually was drinking the second time I got COVID, and they paid for that. And then we were making more money then. And it was funny because my boss called me. She said, "What are you doing?" And then I thought I was getting on this nice paid vacation, and I was like, "I'm drinking Corona." She's like, "You have Corona and you're drinking Corona." And I was like, "Yeah." She told me, she was like, "I can't handle you." She hung up on me. She wanted me to come work at the bubble, and I told her I already drank the beer. It was funny, but yeah, this is. I don't know. Sometimes when a lot of times my son, he got a wife and stuff, so he's busy all the time. And then people always are working, but I guess I should be grateful I don't have to work all the time like everybody. And I really do get bored. And I always got to be doing something. And I love posting stuff. I didn't today. I made these really cool posts, and I didn't make it a full reel, but if you go to the community thing on my channel, you can see the posts. Like sometimes it's really hard for me to get my Instagram things over here. It's like it took an act of God today, but it let it go through the community. So I feel like I don't know. I'm gonna see what reels they'll let me bring over, and then I'm just gonna all my random posts that I do a lot on other networks. I'm gonna put in the community thing, because I was testing it out to find out where all these damn posts were going, and I guess if you click on community, it's right there. And I did not know this, but I figure, since I'm busy and I can't live stream all day. I mean, I gotta pay bills, so I do communicate all through the day, but on the community board. Like I'm thinking about, like, once my schedule gets a little bit better, maybe posting on the community thing on my channel what days I'll be able to stream. And then maybe better communication will make things better. Then, because I don't know, it feels like I was like, when I know when I first came over here, it was, I knew that I had like no chance of nothing. So I think this was more like it started out as an advertisement, and then I was trying to do like different blogs, but I just had camera from everywhere. It was a bloody mess. But now I'm going in a different circle because I started to get a little better with this, so I'm gonna try to post when I can. I guess getting I do like drag out a point, but once my schedule next in August gets more set, I'll have like Monday through Thursday off. But then I'll probably be working Friday. I'll be working doing 2 12s and an 8 too. So I mean, I want to say I'm probably in August. I don't see how I can stream on Saturday and Sunday. It would be hard. So I'm thinking about maybe just posting like in the through the week when I actually got to post a time. Because I didn't notice this community board till now. So I figure I'll just post it because I guess you guys are my new friends. And maybe that's how we could just get a hold of each other. Maybe I'll just leave you guys notes. I'll say, like on the community board, I'll just say about Rube. I'll say, hi, Rube, how are you? I'll just mention you guys like I do on Facebook because I find this would be more easier. Because that's what I do on Facebook. Or I'll just do it in my morning blog. Because I've been trying to do a blog over here. I really have. I think this morning I did. I actually been better at doing this because I feel I blog. I always do my little blog thingies on. I was doing it on Snapchat, and everybody's bitching about watermarks. So in the morning time, I have to do blogging 5 times. But I have been getting better at it. I actually got a morning blog out. I have got that. So, and I'm trying to think tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Saturday. I'm on 8 hour shifts this month, so I should be able to stream tomorrow. But at least I have a little board. Like if I just want to say hello to somebody, I'm just gonna post it on a nice little picture for my reels because I make my own little pictures. You guys have to get the app, the AI app. It's the best thing in the world. You could use it for Christmas cards. This app, it's I love this fucking app. It's bomb. I got Canva. Canva is really good for like a lot of times, people for like around Christmas time and all that, they have like a lot of stuff. And they can take your photos and make the stuff and they can send it out to your house too. It's really, really cool. See, I sometimes, to keep my mind off things, this is what I do. I just be reading and looking up apps. But I do recommend Canva because I feel for even the common, like if I just want to make something specialized for a family member or something, I always go to my Canva app because I feel you can make business flyers with it, but I don't really think they're that exciting. I think it would be more exciting for families, for like family functions and stuff. I feel like it's a very family friendly one. Now, personally, I love Da Vinci. I love that app so much because when I want to do a poem, I can get a bomb ass background to my poem from Da Vinci. And it is some good shit. I love it. I'm probably gonna go on Da Vinci after I'm done here. This is what I like to do. I edit probably, I don't know, 5 hours a day. Oh, okay. I mean, I could see, I could do a pathway thing. I mean, I'm not experienced in the language like all these other tarot card readers. I had to study a lot of things at once. I did not have time to learn this kind of stuff. Palm reading's even worse. So, alright, you want to know about your crush then? Well, no. See, now I could tell I'm really high. Because this is what my brain moves very slow. Okay, are you the one that was with the alcoholic? And we were talking about my first marriage? Okay. Well, he might not. Oh, hello. He might not be ready for a long term commitment. Honestly, after a marriage like that, he's probably going through a horrible time and he's not going to be not. I mean, when I was left my first son's father, well, actually the second son, well, both, whatever you want to call it, I took a year or two break because that's a lot. To be married close to 10 years or up to 12 or whatever, and then having it gone and then having to deal with a bunch of children, it's a lot. Trust me. It makes you want to go live in a cave. Sometimes you think it'd be better to live in that cave so you have less drama in your life. I would actually have, I've thought of the cave I wanted. I want a cave next to a really nice lake, but I want to have it like they have little hotel rooms in like the oddest places. They have hotel rooms in in the middle of not volcanoes obviously, but like in the middle of mountains and stuff, and they like cut, and they have one like by a glacier. So I would have to have people come in there, and it would have to be special things, but it would be cool though. All right, all right. Let me see what kind of path he's in. All right. Well, if he's going through marriage, it can't be a good path. Oh, that ugly divorce thing. Well, he got a waning moon that he's on now. It's not the most horrible moon card, but he does have a lot of negative energy, I guess. But right now, he just has a lot of chaotic fucking stuff going on. He's very just frustrated, I guess. And it's gonna transgress to like a full moon in Aries, pretty much. He's gonna just blow up. He gonna bottle it up, and it's gonna be all over the place. He might have enemies after that. Who knows? Or make new friends. And then when he's done with all that, he's gonna have a fixed moon, which pretty much learn to manifest. So it's not too bad. I mean, he just seems very like he's going through things. I would just, honestly, I would just kind of, I would let it be and just take it slow. I feel if you take things slow, things are better in life. I really do, because I think if you don't think about it enough and plan about it enough, I feel it just goes to hell. A house cannot stand without a foundation. So if you don't have a foundation to your house, it's going to crumble. And I think that because of math. Because they always say math is like a house, so is a relationship. So, well, yeah, you're not going to have a choice. I mean, still talk to them. Just don't talk about that. And I wouldn't even talk about relationship. Just say I'm here. And that's it. And if mentions it to you, that's when you talk about it. But you just kind of stay in your own lane with that. Me and my friend have a code at work. I literally don't give a shit if it's not personally hurting me. I stay in my own lane. I mean, if you are not involved in that situation, you were not married to her, you didn't have a kid with her, so I wouldn't just speak of it. And once it gets through all that stuff, he will come back to you. So it might be a while, but you'll see him. Just be nice and talk to him, because he probably is going through a lot. Even if you don't show it, you go through a lot. I mean, he's still always gonna love her. I mean, I still love my baby's daddies. I still love my ex fiance. I love them all, but it's just all in a different way. It's the energy just it transferred to something else, but I didn't make it go ugly. It just went from love to more friendship, like a loose friendship. So Okay. Well, that'll be good. I mean, if you can get more money from your boss, why not? I mean, everybody needs money, right? You just never know. But it's getting 9:30, and I gotta go back to Hell Zone. So I'm gonna let you guys go because it's like almost 10 o'clock. I gotta be up at 4:30 in the morning. That is very true. You need your money. And maybe put it away and don't waste it. Just buy what you need. You'll save money. I buy useless crap all the time. I was spending $400 a month on Amazon forever. I actually got rid of my Amazon app because I was addicted to Amazon and I needed to stop. I don't know. You get on Amazon and 80% off. You're like, ooh. And next thing you know, you got a whole room of crap that you don't know what to do with. You truly don't know what to do with it. I had, I swear we had like, I think I bought 40 or 50 tubes of toothpaste. You would have thought the world was ending. This is why I don't have this app. So when you get your money, save it. And when you do that, you can have a lot of things. So, but thank you for the great conversation. I actually had a lot of fun. So, and if you think about it, it is Friday. So, is it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. So it is technically my Friday night. I didn't go to the bar. I hung out with you guys on Friday night. I got my pajamas on and and then I go to bed and I did something very good for the day. So, because I got out and socialized. It might have been on camera and it might be over here with you guys, but I still got out and socialized. And I didn't have to sit there and change my clothes twice and be exhausted with all the travel. So I think it worked out better. But I did have fun, and I think I'm going to continue smoking the pot while I'm live streaming because I'm actually able to go 2 hours. So I'm getting new records now. I'm going to work towards 3 hours, but I'll wait till I actually have a day off for that. So, but thank you and good evening. And I'm going to do the community post. So if you're just looking for information or whatever, it's really hard for me to get anything over here. It's like trying to go to the other side of the damn equator. So all this stuff I have for reels sometimes can only be posts. And since I have different backgrounds, I'll make posts for you guys. All right. Well, you guys have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.